Starting a little early today. Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yes, it is. It is 5 o'clock somewhere, but it's not here. So yeah, as usual, we're going to welcome you here to our show for this week, and we're happy that you came to join us. Please don't be afraid to ask away if you've got questions. Jennifer's watching the chat for any Q&A that might be there. We'd love to answer any questions that you might have. So Keith, what have we got going on this week?
We did quite a bit. It was always a busy week. Everything we do. So
that's right. You have a little report, right?
Always got our HIPAA report. I know we worked on some WISP stuff. That was pretty good.
Sure did.
And we'll talk more about some with our demo, some of the cybersecurity stuff that kind of goes along with that. Mm-hmm. And then it looks like we're going to be talking about Greg's vacation. Greg is
escaping.
He's escaping from this for, I don't know, how many days is it?
Well, I'll be back next Friday, so you won't miss me from the live stream. You guys will miss me, though, right? You're going to be crying every day.
Yeah, we're actually having to close the store down. I don't know if they told you this.
I know you will not be. I have given you guys plenty to do. No, I'm sure my people here, they're going to get a lot of things accomplished. If somebody's drop dead emergency, I'll still be available a little bit in a limited fashion, but leave me alone. Unless you really have to. Everybody deserves a vacation, right?
They do. You're exactly right. So,
yep.
That time of year.
And holiday season's coming up, and I won't bug you on your vacation.
Nope. None of that.
Yep.
And then I guess we'll talk about some of the ticket craziness we
always get one of those mornings, right? Yeah. Anytime that we try to compress work, because I'm leaving here right after the show, shortly after the show. We had to prep for the show. These things don't just happen. And so, Keith, what happened this morning to our ticket queue?
Well, obviously the emails come in, the phone starts ringing, and it's just one thing after another.
Nothing emergent, though, really. I mean, it was time consuming. It was important to our customers. To be fair. Mm-hmm. To be fair. It was. But we handled all of them, right, dude?
Exactly right.
Bam. And I didn't have to handle all but one. Because I was working on stuff. Yeah. But yeah. So getting right into it, demo time, right?
Demo time.
Demo time. So, today we're not going to be demoing software per se, but we're wrapping up CyberSecurity Month. And so we are going to talk about something that everybody loves to hate. Do you like passwords, Keith?
Not particularly.
Jennifer, do you like passwords?
Not really.
How many of our customers like passwords?
I don't know many of them.
Yeah. How many times do you get asked, I wish I could do without password. Can you take all the passwords off my computer, Jen?
I get that question probably once a week.
Yeah, or more. Yeah. And sometimes we have to be gently firm with people that is very, very bad idea. Mm-hmm. So if there's 8 levels of passwords, and I don't know if you knew about this, but this was a gentleman by the name of Daniel Meisler. This is not original, but he struggled with explaining the different levels of quality of passwords because not all of them are equal, right? Mm. So Keith, what would be an example of a really crappy password?
My favorite password I use everywhere. It's actually password.
Or let me in, or 12345, or QWERTY. If that's one of yours, you need to change it. Very weak. Worse yet, some people are on this level 1 here where they're using shared passwords, and they're using weak shared passwords, and they use them everywhere. And the problem with that is that if one of your password gets compromised by a hacker, then they're going to go ahead and run a little script that is going to go against every bank in the country and see if they can get into your bank account or other places where you'd rather not a hacker be. So yeah, and we see this a lot. Now, fortunately, a lot of the people that are out there, particularly the banks, they won't let you do that anymore. They won't let you have weak passwords that are easily cracked, because something that doesn't include, extra characters and the like can be hacked in milliseconds, by a hacker. But I'm getting ahead of myself because that's like a qual pass, which is level 3. Level 2 is that you have unique passwords everywhere, but they're all weak. Might include some personal piece of information, your dog's name, what have you, while, it's good to have unique passwords everywhere, it's not enough, right? So, extremely important, not to include things like schools, teams, birth dates, that sort of deal. Leave them out of your password vocabulary, so to speak. But then when you move on up, there's a quality password where you have like those special characters and the like, and they're a lot stronger, maybe a lot longer. You use them uniquely. You have like a funky character in there, kind of deal. That's called a qual pass, and a lot stronger. Better than the other two, still not quite enough, is it?
Nope, it's getting there.
It's getting there. It's moving on up. And don't feel that if you're one of these people that are using these weak passwords that we're trying to judge you or anything else like that. We're normal human beings, and we want to take the path of least resistance. However, we want to make the path of most resistance to the hackers. And, we care about you, and this is why we want to give you this little bit of education every Friday, little smidgen. If we can help one person, that makes everything all worth it, right, Keith?
Exactly.
So we're going to move up to level 4. Now, this is where, when you join us, as a commercial customer, we automatically give you a password manager. And what that does is it allows you to have those unique passwords stored in places. And you don't even have to really know the password because it can generate like crazy strong passwords, but they're stored in an encrypted form. So like LastPass, 1Password, we use Passportal, Keeper, just to name a few of them. The one weak part of that is that you have to have one master password, and you better remember it, and it better be strong, because if you don't remember it, then you lose access to all of your other passwords. So this is where we want people to at least start, is to get into the habit of going into a password manager. Now, best passwords are the ones that you don't even know. And Passportal, and I think a lot of these other companies have a fill-in section where you can click a button and it will fill the like maybe the password in the web form. Not all web pages will accept them though. Particularly the ones that are really highly secure, they don't like password managers. But you can go up to the little extension in your browser and you can decrypt it and see just with a simple click of a button, and copy paste or copy type, because some of them won't even let you paste a password. Did you know that?
I think I've ran into that a few times.
Ran into that a couple times. Yep. I did this week when I was checking a mortgage thing. And it went, nah, you're not going to be doing that. And then moving on up is not just having a password, but also having some form of two-factor authentication. Now, with two-factor authentication, can you explain two-factor authentication, Keith?
Well, it's where you also, you got your username and password, which is, the basics. And then you get a second form of authentication to prove that you are who you say you are. So I think this one is speaking about the SMS, which is accounts will ask you to maybe add a phone number. And so you do that. And then the next thing you know is you're getting a text message with a code in there. And then you have to type the code in to prove who you are.
That's right. And then there's other versions of it. And that would be like application based, where it's not going to your phone. The application actually is generating a code for you to use. And then there's the codeless ones that actually like push a notification to your phone called a push notification. It'll say, do you accept or deny? That's the 7th level. And then the 8th level is passwordless. And this is where I'm hoping we all get to go at some point. It's in its infancy in Windows 11, the latest version. It's been around. I don't know if you know those YubiKeys that we had. Mm-hmm. Those are actually a form, like it's kind of like a car key. You put in a USB port, and you can't get into places unless you have the key. And they're just like, you can't start your car if you don't have the keys. But in my case, it's this is my passwordless token. It has a password in the background that's passed to whatever you're trying to get into. It has access to, in your phone or in your computer, there's a chip, a security chip, and it does a crazy amount of stuff to scramble everything all over. But to give you an example, and I might have said this before in the show, I have like a fingerprint reader I use. At home, I have a camera on my computer that does facial rec. And so it takes the password that I originally put in, takes either my fingerprint or my facial recognition thing, and then matches that against a thing in the chip in the computer. And I have no password. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So don't need to know the password, and it's proving who I am and proving that the machine in some cases is authorized to get on that data. So somebody with a random other machine can't do that because it doesn't have all of the elements of that passwordless system. So there'll be a little bit of upfront work to it. For most people, it'll be like a one-off kind of deal. Simple, very simple. But I think the world is going to go passwordless. Oh my goodness. How many help desk tickets is that going to save us? A whole lot. Mm-hmm. But there's no such thing as perfect security. I don't care who you are. What kind of, the bad guys are always, trying to one-up us. But the more you go up this list, the better off you're going to be. A hacker, they're like anybody else. What do they want? They want the path of least resistance, right? So do you want to be the one that they're easily able to hack, or do you want them to go, oh, man, you're too hard to crack. Let me go on to somebody else that didn't do their due diligence with their passwords, didn't take the extra smidgen of care that it takes to make sure that their passwords are unique and secure. Yeah. So that is kind of wrapping up our cybersecurity month. I really don't like that term, cybersecurity month, Keith. And you know why?
Why is that?
It's because, it ties it to a month, and we need to be cybersecure aware all the time, right?
That's true.
Every day, be vigilant. Doesn't need to be the center of your life like your wife or kids or your animals, but it's something that needs to be top of mind because it protects all those things, right?
Exactly.
All right. So what do we got on next here, Keith?
Well, like you said, running right into it, the cybersecurity part of things. And, we've been working on the WISP and all that stuff. And then, it's been pretty successful so far. And so I think we're trying to take the next steps into, making it a useful package for, customers that they need, maybe it's a cybersecurity document like the WISP. Maybe they need just the cybersecurity training. They want to keep their employees educated and up to date on latest threats and things that they can look out for. So, we've been working really hard on getting that set up, and you've kind of been spearheading the creation of this, and
it really has been like an absolute ton of work. And so what I've been building out, Keith, is called the Cyber Safe Toolkit. And it includes a lot of elements. It includes the written information security plan, because every good cyber safe thing all starts with having a good plan and knowing what you're supposed to do, knowing what to do if something happens in the eventuality that you do have a hack, because it's really not an if, it's a when kind of deal. Having the education, but then also, for a company, having the ability to manage that and make sure that people are doing the things that they need to do to remind themselves of all of the best practices, with little bits of micro training, little quizzes here and there, and newsletter a month. It's a really valuable package that took a long time to put together. And we're really pleased that it should be out, not next week, I don't think, but the week after. The WISP is ready. We can do the WISP. If you're an accountant, you have a deadline coming up. Your deadline to have this done is January 1. When you go to renew your PTIN, or whenever you go to renew your taxpayer identification number, you need to have a written information security plan that's workable. You can't just check the box and move on and say, well, I fulfilled the thing by having it. You need to have something that is executable that you can use. But anyways, I digress. But we will be having that very shortly. We'll be marketing that, starting with accountants, and we'll be also working with municipalities to start with, because a lot of municipalities get hit really hard. And a lot of the smaller municipalities, they can't afford to recreate all their stuff if they get ransomware, for instance. And so what do? They pay the bad guy, and then what happens to the taxpayer money that they had for other things like building roads, fixing infrastructure, or whatever? The budgets are already tight, and then have to have this, on top of it. So, we want to, this is one of the reasons why we want to do that. We want to protect people and give them the tools to protect themselves, but not in such a way that it's such a big production and that it's boring and that it's painful. And it's like every time that, to go think about it, it's like a big fine. How do you do? We want you to spend like 3 to 5 minutes a week. That's all it takes, really, right? Mm-hmm. After you do the upfront work, because the WISP does take some time. We found that it's 4 to 6 hours-ish that it takes to do it properly. For most small organizations. If you're a large organization, it might be different, but then you might have more people that can work on it, so to speak. But yeah, that's a really exciting thing that we're doing, and we're finding that even a lot of IT people in our business don't have that. So if you have an IT company that's not providing that to you, and you're happy with what they're doing for you, hey, I'll bully to you. We're happy that you have somebody that's able to work with you on that. And we're not interested in, taking, stealing their thunder, so to speak. But if this is like a gap that you would like to fill, we're glad to work with the IT people that you have. If you have internal IT people, we're glad to work with them. If you're unhappy with your IT people, then we can have a different discussion. But, we're not here to, take the whole cake. if you don't need the whole cake, we just want to give you the slice that you need to get the job done. Sound fair?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, too much.
Yeah, it's always what do we say? The weakest part of the cybersecurity is the person.
Yep.
And with the training, in the right setting, the right environment where people are encouraged to take cybersecurity seriously. There's so many times where, we've done all these cybersecurity trainings and different products, and nobody's really interested in it, and it's kind of a bit disheartening on our end because we want people to be educated and use the tools that we're offering them. We can't make them do the training and things like that. It's always up to the business and themselves to keep themselves protected. And going back to when you were talking about the small municipalities and the taxpayers and all that stuff, I wonder how many of them out there are actually taking those trainings. And even if you did like a public survey, if you ask the public, hey, do you want your, local government to be going through cybersecurity training? I'm pretty sure a lot of them would probably say yes. Because that, if they get compromised, that there's a whole people below them. We talk about this all the time, where if we were to get compromised, we have customers and clients that it affects them. So, these things just, they roll downhill. So you want to protect yourself, and that way you can protect your customers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it doesn't have to cost a whole lot of money. It's very inexpensive. It doesn't, have to break the bank. It just requires like a little bit of attentiveness for very short periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, half an hour goes by real fast, don't it?
Usually it does.
Yeah.
I think usually it takes about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Silly rabbit. But yeah, we're gonna be going on vacation here pretty soon for a week and going down my brother-in-law's birthday coming up, and he is going to retire, so we're having a retirement party.
Oh man.
And so we're gonna have some family down there. I don't know who all be down there, but I'll be in Texas. Really appreciate McCook Critter Sitters. Have you ever heard of McCook Critter Sitters?
Just through you.
Yeah, Marilyn, she does a wonderful job. She takes care of all our cats and stuff, and makes sure that the house is all nice and safe and secure, and that sort of deal every day, twice a day. So happy stuff where we can leave and feel extremely comfortable. So thank you for Marilyn for letting us have a vacation that we don't have to worry about things. Appreciate that. And that was my little impromptu business spotlight.
There you go.
Shout out. So I guess we're coming to the time where we do our little, what do you call it, obligatory ad. And then we'll meme our way and celebrate our way out of here for the week.
The Residential Protection Plan by Honorbound IT is the best support and service for home computer users. You get top-notch antivirus, backup, and remote support. Plus, if you need in-store service, it's free. Visit us at 109 Norris Avenue, McCook, or call 877-686-6642. Your digital peace of mind starts here.
All right, so it's time for your meme of the week. Peggy sent this one in, and if you were to scratch your cat's belly, what happens?
Well, one of my cats doesn't mind. You can rub his belly all you want, but some of the other cats, they don't care for
Not
that.
so much. So this one here is, Jennifer, you read it.
I dream of a world where people know how long to pet me, so I don't have to claw them.
And in our case, I don't have to bite them. Jamie is like really bad, and Ned, both of them, they will bite your hand off if you
Yikes.
pet them for too long.
Oh my goodness.
They love you, but they also bite. And then Jennifer, you brought this here one to our attention.
Yep, never obsolete.
Yeah, and I remember that particular model. It was a e-machine. Remember a Gateway? They had like the black and white cow boxes kind of deal. Well, when they kind of went the way of the wind, so to speak, e-machines kind of bought them out. And so they started putting these wonderful things. They were like total trash.
Yeah, but they're never obsolete. They last
But they were
forever.
never obsolete, yeah. Yeah, famous last words. But I was telling Jennifer that I remember back in the day when it was character, like the green screen and amber monitor time. Oh, you'll never need more than a megabyte of RAM. Now we're into gigabytes,
Oh, goodness.
terabytes, petabytes.
Can never get
Jennifer,
enough.
thanks for bringing that to us. And nobody's seen your smiling face yet today, Jennifer. You need to remedy that.
I'm okay.
Oh yes, you got to tell us what you're going to be doing this weekend. What do you got going on?
Well, I do have some plans.
Yeah. What do you got going on, Jen?
My son has a play that he's in.
What's the play about?
It's Dracula's Ship.
And is that like a school play or?
No, it's through the college.
Oh, okay. Okay. So can the public come and see this show?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit more about that and when and where. And
It's at the college at Saturday at 7 p.m. and there's 2 showings on Sunday. Can't quite remember those times.
yeah, is there like a little entrance fee or?
Entrance fee is a donation to the college PBL.
Perfect. Yeah, how worthy. That's great. All right. So, Keith, it's time for us to celebrate our way out of here. Woo! Hee-hee! What do you got going on this weekend, Keith?
Nothing. It's going to snow here in McCook. So,
It's going to?
yep.
Yeah,
I think it is, and I'm going to, I don't know,
gonna sit inside and
fire up the old crock pot. It's that time of year, so
you're gonna make some chili or something?
make some chili, make some cornbread.
Ooh. Yeah,
Never know.
sounds good.
Might go to pizza.
They deliver still, don't
They
they?
deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so very much for joining us this week. We appreciate that you showed up. Leave a comment or concern or question or what have you.
Thumbs up,
Thumbs up,
fist bump,
fist bump,
whatever.
yeah. Whatever will let you do on whatever social media outlet you are consuming this on. Thank you, and we'll see